Alright, what is going on everyone out there on YouTube and world? Welcome to a brand new review. And this time we'll be checking out a film that was sent to me by MVD Visual, and you can pick this up on DVD very soon. So this film, as you guys, if you've been watching my reviews over these past like 5-6 months, you would know that I've been reviewing a lot of punk documentaries. I've been really interested in checking these documentaries out. MVD has released a whole bunch of different punk films throughout the past like 6 months. You know, Salad Days, which is a film that digs into the punk movement in Washington D.C., where it really where the movement really started. And then you have a film like Rebel Scum here, which is more about a Tennessee Bible Belt type of a punk band. And then now you have the film The Dicks from Texas, and now we have a punk band from Austin, Texas. And especially when I thought of the punk movement, I really didn't think of Austin that much. You know, I would think about it. While it's a really liberal town, you really don't think about it adding much to the punk movement. And I'm not saying I'm an expert of punk or anything like that, but I really never thought of a punk band from Texas. Just like I never thought of a punk band from a Bible Belt, town in Tennessee. But I guess when you think about it, punk is really all about, people who don't fit in with society, people who look weird or act weird, or, different sexual orientations and all this kind of stuff. So I guess it kind of makes sense in a liberal city like Austin that you would have a punk movement starting to rise. And one of the probably most famous punk bands from Austin were the Dicks. Now the Dicks, they were founded in the late 1970s. They really weren't together for that long. They were together for 4 years, but the 4 years that they were together, I think they totally revolutionized the punk movement in general, just as a whole. And recently, like 10 years ago, they got back together in their reunion. They haven't played in 20 years because they pretty much broke up in 1985-ish. So they haven't really played that much from 1985 to 2004. So they had a reunion, and they still play today. So the Dicks, the lead singer Gary, he's a really interesting figure. He's definitely one of the most intriguing figures that I've seen so far in these 3 documentaries. I mean, he's not as crazy as Christopher Scum in Rebel Scum, but he is a character as himself. Let's just say that he's a heavy-set guy. Definitely not somebody that you would associate with being a lead singer in the punk movement, but they really don't care about that, what you look like, because that's the whole point of what was going on. So he's a heavy-set guy. He was openly gay. Not too many openly gay people in bands in the punk movements, especially. So he's openly gay, heavy-set, but I don't want to say that he was a defined character, because he wasn't. He would wear different types of dresses and outfits, and cut his hair weird, put makeup like Define, but he wasn't like Define, if that makes sense. While he dressed a little bit like Define, he wasn't in that kind of realm where he was playing that type of character the entire time that he was in the band. He would just come up normal as well. But so the Dicks started to expand. They were originally a flyer band, which means that they would just go around and put up flyers around town, but they would never play. It was just, I guess, a thing to put up hype, and they would have really funny flyers. One time they put a flyer up of a naked cowboy all over town, and a lot of people talk about that was the first time that I've ever seen somebody put up a naked guy in public before. But over time, they started to play shows at a famous punk bar named Raoul's, and Raoul really expanded into the main punk scene in Austin. They would play different type of punk bands from around the city every night and things like that, and that's really where the Dicks took off. And so, as typically with punk bands, the Dicks weren't really that musically gifted, if you want to say that. I mean, they knew how to play instruments, but sometimes, half the band would be playing one song, as they would say in the documentary, and then half the band would be playing a different song. But as time went on and they started playing more shows, they started to tour, and they went to San Francisco and things like that, they started to get better as a whole. So this is just a really, it's an interesting documentary. Well, I don't think it's the best one that I have seen out of the three. It's probably the worst. I know that's a crappy thing to say. It's not bad or anything, but I wasn't just as intrigued with the story overall. Maybe it was because that you could tell that it was shot for really little money. The sound mix was really poor. Half the time you couldn't understand what people were saying. There was no subtitle track, so I couldn't really read what people were saying. You know, they would record in like bars, or a lot of the bands, the band members would be sitting around talking, and there would be background noise and things like that, and you couldn't really understand half the time what they were saying, which is unfortunate because I feel like I missed a lot of the dialogue and the information and the conversations that were going on between the band members. And even not in bars, there would be, I guess you would call groupies if you want to call them that, but women who were into going to the shows and things like that, and they would just be interviewing them in their houses with no background noise or anything like that, and it was still really, really hard to understand what they were talking about. And I think it really takes away a lot from the documentary. I still think I've learned a lot, but I feel like I missed out on a lot as well, simply because of the audio problems. But it's unfortunate, but overall, it's just another really interesting punk rock band story. I hope there's more of these coming out, because I would love to learn more about, let's say, a band from, I don't know, Arizona or something like that. Because it's just interesting to learn about these bands popping up that you wouldn't think would be in these type of places. So I'm really curious to see what comes out in the future. But overall, this one, it's okay. I think I enjoyed it for what it was. It's short, it's like an hour, so you could just, pop it in and watch it and learn something. But the Thick's definitely an influential band in general in the punk movement. So thank you everybody for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRoller22. And I'll talk to you guys soon with another review. Talk to you guys later. Peace.